We're the RAGAMUFFINs and we're going to Outbreak Festival. So for a festival that's celebrating its 10-year anniversary, it's one that's only just really shown up on our radar this year. But aren't we bloody excited, boys?
I think we're all excited, but I feel like looking at this lineup in a way, it's a bit like heaven for you.
Absolutely, yeah.
There's so much, I think, on each of these days that I know when I've been with you and you've kind of looked at it, you've been picked out random bands that you feel like you haven't noticed on the poster before and just kind of picking them apart. So I can imagine you're going into this very, very highly anticipating what's going to happen. And I know you love the American hardcore scene with that and how much of that could be being brought over to us over here.
Yeah, me picking out names for the lineup is pretty much going to be the entire duration of this this recording. Before we get into the lineup, though, the venue, how are you guys feeling about that? So it's at an exhibition centre. We've thankfully got a hotel to go back to every night. It's going to be a completely different vibe to the rest of our festival season. Yeah,
a nice shower. I'm really intrigued by it because, like, looking at videos that I've seen of like the American kind of hardcore scene with that, and when they have festivals, like I think you said this is hardcore before, it's just a whole different feel to anything where I've been to a gig really ever. The only thing I can kind of relate to a little bit is I think Slam Dunk Birmingham we went before, and there's a kind of a part of it that was indoors. That's the closest I can kind of relate. And so kind of having the whole setting there like that, it's going to be not a culture shock, but it'll just be a little bit different than I think to what I'm used to. That's one of the things that's really intriguing me the most. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. And like I'm looking at the skateboarding, the live podcasts, art and photography exhibitions, food vendors, like it's so much more than just the music. And I think going in that in kind of indoor venue is going to be like a full on exhibition of all kinds of things. And it's just exciting for me.
It'd be nice for it to be indoors, because if it rains, it won't rain indoors. No mud.
I think it's going to be also just a different vibe to just going to a gig as well. Like,
yeah, it's
not going to have that same feeling of like I'm here for the evening and this is it. It's like being in and out all day and being able to probably go to, you know, a different area for the market or different area for food vendors. I think it's just going to be really fun. And yeah, I think you described it, James, in a podcast that we talked about as almost like an exhibition, almost like a Comic-Con sort of vibe. Yeah, I think it's going to be really great. And as we have with all of our festivals, we've got early entry, so we'll be there for the Thursday night pre-show, Stitch Your Guns counterpart, See Space Cowboy and Static Dress.
That's incredible. Like back to back, all four of those.
I mean, you could have given me that as just like a one-off headline gig and I would have been sold. Like, absolutely, I'm going to that. So it's unreal to be able to see those four bands together. I think it's great to see Static Dress on there with three pretty big American bands, to sort of have our scene represented with those names. I think is a really amazing thing. And that's something that's apparent throughout the whole lineup. But yeah, I think that's something they've done really well, is they've integrated the American style of sort of hardcore festivals pretty seamlessly with the UK scene that we've got going on. So I think it's going to be pretty great. How are you guys feeling about that pre-show?
Oh, it's just going to be so much fun. Like, there's four bands who, like, the music I've heard, not all of it extensive, but has all been music I've enjoyed. And, like, the only thing that's going to happen leading up to it is I'm going to listen to them more. And the only thing coming out of it is I'm probably going to listen to them even more after that, because I'm just going to enjoy it. It just looks, like you said, I know especially for you, that caters perfectly in terms of you would go to a show of that and have a wonderful time. And that just shows that if you're going to put that on as your pre-show, how good is the rest of the festival?
Spoilers, it's good.
It is fucking good.
I mean, going by this lineup, it feels just so consistent, I think.
Yeah.
Like, you look at the bands at the top of the bill, like Knocked Loose, Turnstile, Death Heaven, but then across the whole day, there's bands that not necessarily are as big, but are on the same kind of level.
Some just like, strong names.
Like Movements, Higher Power, Your Demise, Venom Prison, Loathe. It's just all consistently good bands.
Yeah. Yeah. Can't
You're
have
just
any more,
happy, aren't you?
I'm really happy. Just to be talking about this, I'm so happy. So I don't know what I'm going to be like when I'm there. I'm going to be giddy.
Okay, so Alex, break down Friday then. What jumps out to you most Friday? Who the few you'd really love to see in particular?
Well, straight away, the last three, well, sort of the top three build, I guess, being Knock Loose, Terror, Madball, is going to be just almost like a history of hardcore. Like going from Madball into Terror into Knock Loose is going to be like literally listening to a timeline of hardcore music. Yeah. I mean, Knock Loose in the environment that it's going to be in is just going to be almost catastrophic.
On off the back of Tearing the Fabric of Life, which just so acclaimed critically, commercially, fans absolutely love it. Getting the chance to see Static Dress on 2 back-to-back days, I think that's going to be very interesting. You look at the sets that can be played, how much fun they could have with that. Definitely very, very good.
I mean, also think it's great to see Venom Prison and Your Demise not only in the mix with some of those bands, but to be that high up as well.
Right at the top.
Definitely feels like they're not just... This is what I mean, is like it doesn't feel like they're just bringing over an American hardcore festival. They're like bringing the idea of it over and saying like, here are your best UK hardcore metalcore bands. And it's a showcase of the best of us and America and the rest of the world.
It is the 10-year anniversary.
That is true, yeah.
Go big.
A couple of other bands throughout that Friday that I think are worth noting. Incendiary, Sebulba, Year of the Knife. It's just all going to go off. I just can't wait. Particularly Year of the Knife, they've got a really great album that came out a couple of years ago, I think. Yeah, I've got nothing more to say about Friday.
Well, I think Saturday is the day that I'm most looking forward to. We've got Turnstile headlining, Basement doing, and I wish I could stay here, and Colour Me in Kindness 10-year anniversary set. Citizen, Higher Power, Movements, Angel Dust, Drug Church. I could just keep on going.
Yeah, and then to have those bands mixed in with Youth of Today, Fiddlehead, it is surreal, I think, for me to see some of these bands here. And then another thing that stands out a lot is the talk with Will Yip, an amazing producer. The catalogue that he's worked with is so diverse. It's like from Tiger's Jaw and Turnover to Code Orange. It's going to be a wealth of knowledge at that talk, so I can't wait. What are you thinking, Jay?
Well, I think all the bands you listed between you on the Saturday, but then if I'm honest, I then look at the Sunday, and I think that is the day for me, between especially going with Vane and Loathe, 2 bands that have put out some incredible music. Vane much more recently, and then Loathe, we've had the chance to see them twice last year, supporting Sleeps, and then and then on Slam Dunk. Absolutely fantastic, and it looks like we're probably getting new music this year, so we may have some new tunes when we go and see them at this point. So I think for me, like that, particularly on the Sunday, is good. I've heard you mention bands like God's Hate before, and so that's one that jumps out to me, so kind of getting to see all of that will be fantastic. Yeah.
I mean, one thing to note is that Every Time I Die were an original headliner, and they've now been replaced with the co-headliner of Death Heaven and Touche Amore. How are you guys feeling about that?
It's fine. I mean, neither of them are probably on the level of Every Time I Die, but kind of having a 2-for-1 there is...
It's a fair trade-off, isn't it?
It's a fair substitution, I think.
It's a shame because some of the last album they put out, we enjoyed, and it was very good, and obviously the circumstances are a shame. Nothing can be done about that, and yeah, having that 2-for-1, it does make up for it, I think.
Yeah, a couple of other notable bands for me on the Sunday. Show Me the Body, One Step Closer, Drain, Dare, God's Hate especially. It's just going to be so many bands that you probably don't even need to listen to before we go. Like, we'll just be there, and the mood to mosh and 2-step will just take over your body. So yeah, it's going to be so much fun.
The other cool notable thing to mention just overall with the festival is that in terms of the full 4 days we're doing and the 3 days, that's sold out now. So if there are any days that jump out to you and you're listening to this, day tickets are available. They have started on sale. You're going to have to jump at that, because if the whole festival's sold out, very likely the whole day tickets could sell out as well. So make sure you're nice and quick on those. Yeah,
and any day would be good to go to. Like, that's the balance of this lineup is so great that it doesn't feel like one is more loaded than the other ones. So for the people that are going to Outbreak Fest, what's one set that you think they have to see?
I'm going to go with Vane. since kind of being very recently introduced to them. It's just been incredible to kind of repeatedly listen to a new band that absolutely wonderfully heavy, and yet there's still so much of a different kind of sound to them. And I've not seen anything from them live before, and for me that just stands out as one that I'm really penciling in, watching the whole set and probably just being in awe of it.
I think for me, Basement, for them to be playing songs from those probably two of their most iconic albums, is going to be good fun and one that you shouldn't miss out on.
Alex, you're not allowed to say the whole festival. What's the one for you?
I think one that, even though we have mentioned it, that's in a way is still seeming to fly under the radar is Your Demise. I was lucky enough to see them at Slam Dunk and at a headline, supporting Malevolence in Oxford, and take it from me, you want to be in the crowd for Your Demise. Like, you just have to be. So, don't know how long they're going to carry on doing this sort of reunion little thing they got going on. So, see them while you can, I think.
Make the most of it. And so we'll be having a full breakdown post-gig, post-festival. There'll be a vlog coming out for it, as well as all the other vlogs from this summer. Slam Dunk, 2000 Trees, Download Festival, and then this on Outbreak. Alex and Dan will be going to Truck Festival as well. So much good stuff coming this summer. Vlogs, all kinds of good content. So make sure to sub to the channel to catch it all.
And if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, make sure you hit follow and leave a 5-star review. It'll make us really happy.